YouTube, it's Charlie from Reader Turned Writer. Today, let's chat. Should you follow writing advice? This video is a let's chat, so it's a little bit more laid back, no bullet journal, and it's just going to be me talking. I don't even have like bullet notes of what I want to say, so I have no idea what this video is going to be like. Obviously, I am a little bit biased because I have a channel where I give writing advice, and so writing advice is something that I'm biased towards. But in all seriousness, I know that there are times when writing advice can feel overwhelming, discouraging. It can go counter to what works for you, and then it can cause you to try things that don't actually work for you, and it can create problems, and I understand that. When I read Mindset by Carol S. Dweck, she wrote down the 3 elements of having a growth mindset, and that is believing that you can improve in an area through 3 different ways. And the first way was by working hard. Another one was asking for help, and a third one was finding different methods that work. And for me, finding different methods that really spoke to me, because that is one of the best ways that I naturally have a growth mindset, is through thinking that there's got to be a different, if something's not working, I'm like, there's got to be, it's not that I'm inherently flawed, it's that I am using the wrong method. This seems off topic, but I'm going to come around to my main topic here in a minute. This mindset has helped me when I get advice because I like to seek out new advice. I like to seek out new methods, new ways of thinking about something. I love to read parenting books, business books, marketing books, books on intimacy and marriage, books on self-help habits, things like that. I really enjoy those types of books. And obviously there are some that I don't like, but I tend to enjoy those kinds of books. And I think that the reason is because they present different methods that I can then try or not try. The reason I'm bringing this up is because I think that every person is going to have a whole different selection of methods that work for them that might not work for someone else. A different combination of methods, if you will. And they'll have some methods that work for them at different times in their life or different stages that don't work for them later. Having a newborn is totally different than working full-time, and you know what I mean? Like, those 2 people, if they're going to try to write and write well, they're trying to create a writing habit, for example, they're going to have different methods to create that writing habit, potentially because of their stage in life. And different things affect it too, like personality and who you're around and your environment, and that all goes back to stage of life as well. But the thing about advice is that there's not really advice that is one-fit-all. Well, there might be advice out there that's one-fit-all, but the more one-fit-all you get, the more vague you have to get, because it has to include everyone. So then it's less practical. And I really enjoy practical self-help books that say, okay, here are 4 steps that you can take to create a new habit, like in the Atomic Habit. And principles are really good too, like 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, or I'm reading one right now, The Bonds That Make Us Free. And they're very much principle-based, not as much, here's a step-by-step to how to improve. And those are really important too. And those are more of the one-fit-all because they're more principle-based. When you're giving advice to someone on how to actually sit down and write, it's going to be very dependent on a lot of things, and so it's very hard to be one-fit-all there. Even with like the advice, the most general advice, write every day, doesn't work for everyone, and that's okay, it doesn't have to. But even when you get into like the nitty-gritty, like, oh, how do you structure your book? How do you make a character likable? How do you write dialogue? Those tips and things, there are principles behind some of them, but the thing is that basically any writing rule can be broken in a way that makes the reader like it, and then, you know what I mean? Like, I'm having a really hard time articulating this. I should have written out some notes first. Basically, my stance when it comes to should you take writing advice, and this is my stance for all advice. This is what I do when I read parenting books, when I read any self-help books or anything like that, because in every single book I've read, there has been something where I go, that doesn't really speak to me, or I don't really agree with that part, but I love all the rest of it. But this one little part I don't really agree with. There's never been a single book that I haven't encountered that with. And so my philosophy is take what works for you and ignore the rest. And if you feel bad about leaving the rest, like you should do it that way, then it's time to change your mindset, because really you shouldn't be doing something unless it actually works for you. And it's okay to try something if you're not sure if it will work for you. And it's okay to try something in different ways. Like maybe you think, okay, well, I want to outline. I've naturally been a pantser, and I want to try outlining. It's okay to try a few different methods of outlining before you say, yeah, I don't really think it's for me, or maybe you'll find one that actually works okay for you. But maybe sometimes you'll discover that it's really not for you, and that's okay. One of the biggest things with growth mindset, I keep going back to that in this video for some reason, but one of the biggest things with it is that mistakes are good. It's good to make mistakes. Not just okay, but it's the way that we learn. And so it's okay to try something and have it not work for you. Having something not work for you is actually a good thing, because then you get to learn what works for you. You won't ever find what works for you if you don't try things that don't work for you. So yeah, that's kind of the gist of my video, I guess, can be boiled down to that. Take what works for you, try it out if you're not sure, and take what works for you, try it out if you're not sure, and ignore the rest. And don't feel bad that you don't write the same way as someone else, because I have yet to meet a single writer, having been exposed to all these writers on AuthorTube and Instagram in the community, and they share their writing process, you know, throughout all the different stages of writing. And I have yet to meet a writer whose process is exactly the same as someone else's, because we're all unique. And we all have things that we're all in different life situations, we're all different people, and that is totally fine. And so I really, really want to just emphasize that you don't have to feel bad for not doing it the way that someone else says that you should, or thinks that you should, or even just the way that someone else says they do. Because sometimes when we're talking about what we do, we talk about it, and I know I do this all the time, we talk about it in a way that like it's the best way to do it, subconsciously, because for us it is the best way. That's how I feel about writing every day. I do think that writing every day is the best thing, because it's the best thing for me. But I also try really hard not to look down on other people who do things differently than me, and I try to portray that, because I don't feel like I actually look down on people for doing things a different way, but sometimes the way that I talk about the way I do it makes it seem that way, and so I try to be really careful of that. And so as you're writing books or watching videos, I want you to be conscious of the fact that they think it's the best way because it works for them, but that doesn't mean that it has to work for you, and it's totally okay to just ignore the advice. And this is advice that I'm giving you. So anyways, I guess I'm going to cut out now. This is one of my shorter Let's Chat videos, but let me know in the comments below, what do you think about writing advice? Do you listen to, read, watch videos about writing advice? Do you have any favorite craft books? Because I would love to hear about that. Or AuthorTube channels that share writing advice. I'd really love to have you share those with me as well. Or if you have a AuthorTube channel where you do that, let me know in the comments below, because I would love to go check out your channel as well. I've already found quite a few here on YouTube, and it's been really fun. So yeah, let me know in the comments below your thoughts and or resources. If you liked this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe for lots of writing content. I try and do 2 or 3 writing videos a week. Thank you so much for watching my video. I will see you in the next one.